Hi, I hope all of you are doing awesome. Today I'm going to do another ghost story. So the title of this story is The New Bride. So Raz was getting married and he was very excited. In fact, the entire family was excited. The wedding was taking place on a rented property, and the decorator came to decorate the place, and they decorated really beautiful. The place looked really beautiful, and the party planner was invited too, and she did the planning of the wedding party really nice. And so everything was set, and this place wasn't far from their own home, but since they needed a bigger place for all the guests, so they rented this big house. And now near the house there was a river, and there was some rumors that near the river there was a ghost, which is like a demonic, and so like a lady vampire. And so she used to roam around, and there's some stories that once this lady was going somewhere with her husband nearby the river side, and then the thief and the robbers came and they took their car, all her gold jewelry, and took her husband. He was the one driving the car, but lady managed to open the door and run away to the woods. So they didn't bother to look for her in the woods, because she was hiding in the trees, and they didn't want it to get caught, and they wanted to take the car, they wanted to take the gold jewelry. So they just left, and after that she was left alone in the woods, and then there she died after some time without food, and just living in the forest. Probably something ate her up, or nobody knew what happened to her. But anyway, Raj and his family did not believe in this rumor. So the day of the wedding, they all got dressed beautifully, and the groom and the bride, both of their families arrived, and this home was very huge mansion, and they had the beautiful lake in front of it. So one side, the east side, the groom took, and the west side, the bride took. And then in the middle center of the house, the wedding venue, and there were a lot of decorations and eating place and chairs and tables that decorated nicely. And the friends and families and relatives came from both the sides, and it was gonna take place over the 2 days of the weekend. So everybody arrived Friday night, and Saturday was the wedding, and then people start leaving around Sunday night. The wedding was really beautiful. Everybody enjoyed. There were lots of food, fun, entertainment, singers, dancers. So it was like really, really amazing. People had really good time. So after everything was finished, then a lot of the people who could stay, they stayed the Sunday night with Raj and his new bride Nina. But there were many people who went back Sunday night because they had to be at their workplace. But Raj and Nina came Monday night because they had to wrap up everything, pay everybody, and then them and their some close friends and relatives, they all came in few cars. Cars were going one after another, So Raj's father, Mr. Sharma, and mother, Mrs. Sharma, they gave strict direction to the drivers that all the cars, they had 4 cars coming late, everybody else left. So there were only 4 cars, and that many people, there are about 20 people were there left. So they had a strict instruction that all the cars will follow each other very closely so they will not get into any trouble or anything. So then when they came to the river, it was very late night, about 9 o'clock. It's just the dark, beginning of the dark. So 9 o'clock is very late night in countryside. So they saw a beautiful lady in the middle of the road asking for help. So they stopped the car, and then they got out. Mr. and Mrs. Sharma and all the other cars were in the back, and then they saw this beautiful young lady. So they asked, like, what is it that you want? And then she said that her husband and they were going somewhere after a wedding party, and then they got robbed, and the robbers took all her jewelry, and they also took the husband, and she ran to the forest, and now she saw car lights, so she came out. So if they could just give her a ride up to the city. Now Mr. Sharma and Mrs. Sharma, being very tired after 2 days wedding and before that all the preparation, they really didn't understand the entire thing so well, but they know that this lady was in trouble and it's dark, and she looked like a decent lady from a good home. And so there's no harm giving her a ride up to the city. That's what she wanted. And she didn't have any weapon or anything. She's just a young lady. So they said, okay, we'll give you a ride up to the city. And so she said, okay, can I come into your car? And they said, yeah. So she came in and sat in a corner. And so in the car, Mr. and Mrs. Sharma there, and Rajan and his new bride, and she came and sat next to the new bride by the window side. And then they came to the city, and then she asked if she could go nearby a gas station and use the restroom. And they said, okay, our house is a little far away, so we'll just let you use the bathroom, then we'll pick you up and drop you wherever you want to be dropped. So she said, I'm fine here, I'll just use the restroom, and then I'll call my relatives from the gas station. So they waited a little bit, and then they went to check her in the restroom and then the gas station, but they didn't see her anywhere. So they figured out that she just found something or went with somebody. So they had to go home anyway. They were so tired. So they looked for her, and I guess they realized that she took the ride up to the city, and now it's on her how she gets home. So they went their home, and after they went their home, they were just going about their business with the new life. And Raj noticed that Nina felt a little bit sick and she didn't feel so good. And then they had the first night, and she said to ask Raj to leave her alone. She's feeling very weak and sick. So they thought, since it was so busy and was very tiring, so she might have gotten some sort of bug. So then they took care of her, but as days went on, day after another, she was very sick, and she didn't want to eat much, and she was very quiet. But she wasn't like that before marriage. She was very happy and jumping. And so the Raj and Nina's parents, they got together. Like Raj's parents called Nina's parents about their daughter's health, so they quickly came. And then the parents also saw that she's very much changed. She wasn't like very happy or jumpy. She was very quiet and just always staring at outside through the window without a purpose. I thought maybe this wedding she's a little bit sad and down. They said, okay, why don't you guys go for a honeymoon and that'll cheer her up. So they went outside by the sea for a few days. And even outside, she wasn't very cheered up. She didn't feel like eating. She felt like most of the time sleeping. And whenever she was off, she would just stare at outside. She didn't feel that good. After they came back, then slowly they noticed they used to have a big farm and a lot of animals and chickens and cows and goats and hen. And they noticed that all these animals been dying, and then their bodies were drained of the blood, and they would be on the street somewhere dead. And in the village, everybody started talking. They said that this wasn't happening ever before. What is happening now? And a lot of the houses, people's daughter or daughter-in-law being taken away from the home, or if they were gone somewhere, then their blood's been drained from their body, and they will feel very weak and sick and die. Was happening. Then Raj noticed that Nina would go to bed around 7 or 8 p.m. very tired, and then she wakes up around 3 a.m. and then she said she wants to go for a walk, and she likes to go for a walk alone. So she did go for a walk, and then she came 5 o'clock in the morning, and she was a little bit happy and energetic. But then as day go by, she will be very tired again. But she didn't eat much, like barely eat anything. So they were noticing like this is serious changes on her, and she didn't feel like herself. So Raj noticed every day she would go for a walk and this and that, and he was noticing that she's not very romantic or happy or anything like this way she was before marriage. So one night around 3 a.m. when she went, Raj also followed her. And when he followed her, he saw she went to the field, and the cows were there, and they were just standing there. Horses were there. And she was literally drinking blood from all the animals. And when he saw that, he was so scared and didn't know what to say, what to do. So he came running home out of breath, and he told his mom about it. First, mom didn't believe, dad didn't believe, but they did notice huge change in their daughter-in-law. So then they didn't tell her anything, and they went to the village priest, and they told him about everything. And the village priest said, okay, you guys need to trick her, bring her to here. So they told her that they're going to visit a friend. So everybody came together when she came there, and then they tied her up, and the priest did all kinds of ceremony to get rid of the ghost. And when he was successful, Nina fell off and she became unconscious, and then she stayed like that couple of hours. And when her sense came back, she was very weak, and she didn't have any memory of all those days. After that, they had to take care of her a week, and then the priest explained everything. It seems like she's some vampire or witch, or some sort of demon got into her. And then the parents told the whole story about when they were coming. And then the priest said, oh, he knew about the story near the river, and he did warn them when they went to do the wedding ceremony there that that place is not good. It seemed like very haunted, but since they didn't believe, they went there anyway. But gradually Nina started getting better, and the priest gave her a lot of stones to wear. She was wearing them, and she felt much better and much happier. And after some time, they went back to living a normal life. So I hope you like this story. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and share. And I'll see you with many, many more. Bye-bye.